Hello and good evening, everyone. I think you all know what it's time for. It's your best educated guess, the greatest content you've ever seen in your life. Folks, it's Clout.WAV. You don't have to guess because I'm going to tell you the answer because it's been a while. It's a brand new year. We're over 100 episodes in, and we're so happy to see you. But it's not just about me. It's about one of the greatest hosts that you could ever have for a piece of programming of all time, Subtle Fraudulence. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing as good as I can. I attempted to watch Ted 2 because I watched the Ted TV show on Peacock, and did you know that movie has a scene that happens in a sperm bank?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I haven't really. The last thing I think I've watched a fix to that guy's name was like the first two episodes of The Orville and like American Dad pre-pandemic. Sorry, I'm not a McFarlane guy. I'm not gonna pretend to know things I don't.
Look,
I don't
Family
know what that
Guy.
man's been up to.
Family Guy is the goat. American Dad is pretty good. Cleveland was all right for like the first, I don't know, first maybe like 10 or so episodes, and then it just got kind of boring. And Ted 1 was interesting when we all watched it the first time, even though it was basically a Family Guy episode with like different steps. It was still like entertaining enough. Ted 2, I never got around to like really watching it because it just seemed like the concept was dumb and not like it didn't make sense because Ted 1 resolved itself so well. And I was right. Because everything I've heard people say about Ted 2 was that like it's not very good, or it's just like retreading the same stuff in Ted 1. And it's kind of worse than that. It did the Glee thing where it's like, okay, we need these characters to be involved here and have a story, so we're gonna like make their life a lot worse so that they can like have a reason to be a part of this. Otherwise, people will say, why is this married person like just smoking weed and like trying to get chicks and whatnot now?
I just think that's modern day storytelling for a lot of people in show business at this point, because usually the first movie or sometimes the second movie, that's it. That's all we needed. But the IP itself just prints money, or it's easy to make, and it's a can't lose situation for the studio. And they'll just force a situation. Like I still to this day do not understand why they thought we needed to see a Han Solo any fucking thing.
Look, man,
they gave it to you.
Solo was all right, despite the fact that they made this movie for like no reason. Because he's like, I did the Kessel Run in whatever the fuck, 5 parsecs, whatever the fuck. That line got turned into a movie, and we didn't need that line to be a movie.
We didn't need any of that to be the movie. Like, I did not need to know that our boy Lando out there was fucking his ship. I didn't need to know that.
Look, man, the thing about Star Wars at this point is, you can make some interesting stories. Like The Mandalorian showed that you can have a random story about a character in the universe just doing their thing, and it can be very interesting. Andor showed that the political side to all of this revolution that happens to be happening like in the background of these Star Wars movies is very interesting. But
yes,
when it comes to all the sequels,
and they took the time to explain it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. The sequel was just like, Palpatine's alive. The First Order is here. Anybody want to explain that? And at any point in time during the trilogy at all, just a little bit, like, how did y'all just like not have your eye on the prize? Because I mean, Leia's alive. She's doing things. She clearly has people who respect her. How did she garner this respect and allow the First Order to rise? Like, was it in her blind spot? Where they just not looking? I mean, obviously the First Order had to start off as a small faction, but now they building planet-sized death lasers, and you're like, who's investing in this? Can we talk about where's the capital coming from? And then you find out that Palpatine's got an entire planet filled with billions of people on 100 Star Destroyers that are fully staffed, by the way. And it's like, who writes this? Do you not think about it when you write it? Now, granted, you could always say that, it was a couple of directors having a dick measuring contest and not really wanting to write a cohesive story. They just wanted to write whatever the fuck their story was, and they had sour grapes that the other person didn't want to write their story for them.
Basically,
but I
yeah.
digress.
I mean, at this point, because of like all the TV shows and how they're trying to like, you know, thrive on like nostalgia for some of the other TV shows and things in the lore. At this point, all Star Wars needs to do is focus on the coolest thing introduced by the series: lightsaber battles. Just have a series. I don't know. Have a fucking action series for Star Wars where it's just like a bunch of really cool lightsaber battles with some like, I don't know, some basic story that is explainable in the universe.
Well,
you know, it doesn't have to be
the original trilogy story wasn't that deep. It really wasn't. It was very simple. No, as far as it was a simple story. Sure, there may have been a bunch of politics around it, but I'm talking about just the plot of the movie. I'm not talking about extended universe, nothing.
Yeah.
Hi. I'm a plucky upstart. This is my new sensei. I'm his Padawan. All right, let's get after it. There's some couple weird guys in space with superpowers. Yeah, fuck them. We don't really need to worry about that. I'm getting trained up. And then boom, they open up the giant Pandora's box of, wait a minute. So Vader was your best friend, huh? Chin scratch. There's no way this is going to come up later, right? And then obviously Obi-Wan goes, if you strike me down now, I'll be more powerful and everything. Turns into fucking string cheese. Robe falls on the floor. And then, you know, Vader thinks he's got it. He's the one. He's the number one seed. He's winning Evo, ladies and gentlemen. He's the best. Soul Calibur 4 all over again. And then Luke's like, you know, has his little arc. Isn't good enough. Gets bodied. Has to go through training with Yoda. Has to actually find it with himself to be better. You know, shit, you could talk about the Rocky movies. Rocky went through this shit. Like, it's a very simple plot line. Hero faces adversity. Hero gets better. Still faces adversity. And you could have a couple of twists in there. Oh no, Leia's the sister. Oh no, Vader's the father. But ultimately, ending redemption, Vader's like, no, I'm Anakin again. Yeah, I'm not really evil. That's my son. That matters more. Family over thing. Blood thicker than water. Palpatine gets command grabbed down the tube. Great job. There was nothing in there that was about crazy espionage and deep political, you know, background things that were explicitly directly involved in the scripting of those plots for those three movies. You get to the sequel trilogy, everybody got politics, everybody got double agents, everybody's over here talking about trade routes, but they're not really, you don't remember? We are the Trade Federation. I don't know why they had bad Chinese accents. I still don't understand why they had to have that.
I mean, the original series had like its things like that.
I get that, but it wasn't like the meat. It wasn't the meat of the plot. And I'm not saying you can't have deep plots. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is a lot of people today, I just don't think they're qualified to write those.
I mean, hey, you know, speaking of writing, Law and Order came back, and you know, you want to know what the topics were for the 3 Law and Order series for the start of the new season of the new year for these shows.
I'm sorry, there's 3. There's Organized Crime, SVU, and is Vanilla still going?
Vanilla is back, bro. And apparently the Burn Notice man is not in the show right now. He at least was not in the first episode and got replaced by a different, very edgy white man who's, I think, from like the older episodes in the original series. So, but okay, here are the topics here. All right, so Law and Order SVU. This episode ripped from the headlines about, you remember that time when there was that video going around, maybe it was a TikTok that was also on Twitter of like a girl in a car with some men, and people were like, she's giving us signs. She's being trafficked, guys. We have to help her. We have to find her and help her. She's showing us the signs in the video. That is the episode for SVU, and it ends on a cliffhanger. Okay. So Organized Crime. Remember when cops are like, fentanyl, as soon as you touch the fentanyl, it's gonna kill you. Stop. No. Get away. Fentanyl.
Yeah, they made it seem like like the moment fentanyl just like so much is grace your skin, you turn into Nemesis from Resident Evil.
That's the episode. They are going after they're going after the Los Santos, who are the fentanyl drug lords of the
fentanyl
episode.
kingpins.
The fentanyl kingpins of the episode, and they're doing it fast. And in this episode, every time someone gets into any sort of area where fentanyl is in the area, they get fentanyl poisoning. So, there is a scene where someone gets into a truck that they were using to cook the fentanyl in, and this person, tried to tried to download some data from the truck for some reason, and their exposure to the lab, not to fentanyl, to the lab, poisoned them.
Look, at that point, you just need to start riding around with a big old Ziploc bag full of fentanyl. You see someone you don't like, oh my body, they're dead. That's the murder.
And you know what Law and Order Vanilla was about this time?
Let's hear it.
A hate crime done to a Jewish man by a foot soldier of a Palestinian woman, because Israel versus Palestine.
Sometimes the Law and Order and overall Dick Wolf's tackling of current events is not always worth the time. Because what do you remember? It was like, I want to say it was like an Indian food truck restaurant, and these racist dudes just kicked it down and like killed everybody in there, and then just decided that they were going to crepe the woman.
Yeah.
If you don't tell, you won't tell anybody. Yeah, otherwise we'll be back. And they just leave, and then
it turned out, I think the mom had actually survived. Or no, there are two versions of this. There's one where the daughter gets kidnapped, and then there's another where the family gets held hostage, and they also assaulted the daughter in the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that shit is.
Look, if there's some weird interracial overtones that can be put into a show, Dick Wolf will find it. Trust. But even with all that being said, that's still not the worst way to handle your cinematic or video game or fictional universe. Mortal Kombat seems to be handling that just fine. Because I don't know how many of you guys have actually taken a look at Mortal Kombat 1. Go ahead and search MK1 right now. Just hashtag MK1 on whatever social media platform of you're choosing. And you're going to see a bunch of the top players, tournament players, streamers, and content creators telling you that this game is not a 2-pack, not a 4-pack, not a 6-pack, but an entire case of 24-pack of ass. It's not good. And I don't mean that from a gameplay perspective, which honestly, for me, gameplay is king. But at some point, you're going to realize when your gameplay loop has been reduced to play ranked or play casual matches online, and that is all there is, you start to realize a game that is, it's not even just a game, a series that is known for single player content, unlockables, bonus games, and having, this thing called seemingly endless content that has a infinite amount of replayability, and you don't even need to touch online content whatsoever at all to have access to any of that. It is kind of disheartening for those people who have, let's be honest, come to know NRS for being A1 when it comes to those aforementioned categories, and then realizing they're not even giving a D+ effort in them and just said, hey man, play in tournaments, play online, that's all we got for you this time around. Because the story mode, it felt like it was shorter than the other story modes in previous iterations. But it could, let's just say, best case scenario, it's about the same length. There's no crypt. No crazy amount of unlockables. The customization is just about as bad as it was in Injustice 1. Actually, no, I can't even say that. In Injustice 1, everybody had at least 5 or 6 costumes.
Yeah, their costumes are unlockable. You're thinking about Injustice 2, probably.
Well, no, Injustice 2 had a bunch of stuff. Now, most of it took 20 hours of grinding for like, the super legendary red level, gear pieces.
Yeah.
But they had them. Some characters, oh, what gear piece do you have, Lee May? My little keychain on my belt's a bat now. That's it.
Hey, Lee May, what's this other costume that you have here? Oh, yes, this is a palette swap of my original costume. And this is a palette swap of my second costume that is a bit of a variation on the first. Oh, and then here's my original costume on me, which looks kind of weird with this new model, but you know what? It's a costume.
And what's really funny is that there is a Cyber Smoke model in the game, but it's not a costume for Smoke. Yeah, I believe it was a tower, and there's just a UMK3 Smoke in the game that has all Smoke's moves.
Hey man, guess what the new DLC is? That's right, Smoke
cameo.
Assist. Smoke cameo right there. Oh my god. There are cameos that I want to be regular characters. Chameleon is out, and I'm like, this would have been a cool regular character.
And you know what the sad part is? Best cameo in the game. And unfortunately, I think it's going to have to be like Spawn's, came into the game with the, the armor break system, which then later on became to every character. I think every cameo is going to have to get what Tremor and Chameleon have going on, because both of them have like different forms and like 12 moves. Meanwhile, what is Striker going to do? Woo! Woo! Low grenade, far grenade, overhead baton smash. That's about all he's cooking with.
Look,
Scorpion.
Man.
He can breathe close to you, in front of you, or on the other side of the screen. He can do the overhead slam, and he can pull you back. He's got 5 things. All these other characters, like the other 2 DLC characters, have like 9 things apiece. They are not built the same. Not to mention, Chameleon gives every single character in the game mix-ups. If you have a projectile, you have a Marvel vs. Capcom level skip neutral tool, because you throw a projectile, it's coming towards your opponent, and then she just tosses you towards your opponent right behind the projectile in the air. So you got to overhead jump in. So even if they block it, you're mad plus. If the projectile gets there right before you do, they can't even up block it, so they got to hold the pressure. And if you have an overhead and a low combo starter, they got to guess. Every time you throw a projectile, they got to guess 50-50. Ain't no other character doing that. The only other characters that can even remotely do anything like that, they're not ambush cameos. They'll put you in position, but you got to hit that stupid esports pose, like, I'm esports ready, for like 2.5 seconds before you're even able to move. Not with this character. And it's just really weird, because as you know, my primary content on my YouTube channel is MK1. And don't get me wrong, like I said, I have fun with the game, but I'm someone that plays it like 2 hours a week. I come in, sit down, play for an hour one day, hit the record button, play for that hour. 4 days later, might play for another hour. Saturday comes and I got time to edit, I'll put those 2 hours on the timeline, get the chopping, splicing, making the edits, and then put it out, schedule it for the next week. But it is definitely not a game that I feel like is worth, or nor can I recommend it be worth, grinding hours upon hours upon hours, because after you beat the story mode, you're going to play invasions for about 45 minutes to an hour. And unless you are really starved for your own content, for your own channel, you're not going to care about invasions. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Unless you want one of those costumes that, you can only get from beating the boss in invasions. Like a Natara costume that's only available for fighting final boss Natara in that long ass season of invasions.
And you want to know the worst part still? I would still rather grind for the invasions costumes than I would for the other costumes, because back in the day, and I'm just talking about MK11, if you wanted to get like the highest tier skin, all you had to do was get into like the upper bracket of the ranks. So if you're, not someone who plays MK1, the best way I could describe it is there would be 3 tiers of rewards. Bronze, silver, gold, get the 1 tier. Plat, diamond, get 1 tier. Masters, grandmasters, and top 500 all get the top tier. But most of the time, if you got to plat, you could probably get to the lowest part of diamond. You still get the rewards, more than likely, just by being mediocre at the game. It's fine. However, now, if you don't hit the max rank, you don't get the max skin. Each of the individual ranks. So bronze gets its own rewards, silver gets silver and bronze, gold gets gold, silver, and bronze, and so on and so forth. So you could get all the way to Grandmaster, but if you're not in that top upper echelon, you're not going to get the top skin. And a lot of people do not have the time to spend, 200 to 400 matches playing the game. Actually, it's not even matches because ranked is best of 3. So sets, which could potentially be anywhere from 400 if you just won every match, all the way up to worst case scenario, you got about a 50-50 win rate. You're probably playing like 1,200 to 1,600 match. Now, just to get to a rank that they reset every season, by the way, and the season's only about a month long. So imagine about every 4 to 5 weeks, you start back from square zero and get told to unlock something else. Even though you're playing the exact same people you would have been playing had you not had your rank reset.
But don't you know, man? That's motivation. See, it's just like Fortnite, where you have that, what do they call it? The battle pass, where, you play the game and then you get goodies. See? Isn't that motivating for people to play the video? Yeah.
Well, at least those people would be getting rewarded because of just their time. You can put a 200, 300, 400 hours, but if you're not good at the game, got news for you, Charlie. You're not climbing the ranks. You're not getting the rewards. You're on the treadmill. You're running full speed, but you're going nowhere, buddy.
Well,
that's not the same. At least with Fortnite, if I put 200 hours into the game, I will see Battle Pass complete. Great job, gamer. Even if I ain't never won a game, if I never saw Victory Royale, never got to hit an emote, if I put that much time in, thank you for your patronage. See you next season. At least the game cares. So, I don't know what they're going to do about MK. Because somehow, even though they've released, I would argue, some of the best DLC that they've released in the MK game, the rest of the game's kind of lacking. Also, it's a $70 game now. So, it's $70 plus $40 deal. That's $110. The least you could do is give us good DLC, but I digress. Speaking of DLC, Ed's coming, I think, kinda, to Street Fighter 6?
Yeah, man. Don't you remember? No, man, Akuma's not the next character. He's the last character. You see, Ed is the real DLC character that's coming, and he's coming soon. He's going to do February 2024. Yeah, man.
So what
Didn't
you're
you
saying,
see that?
So what you're saying?
Capcom just remembered.
What you're saying is the guy who was taking under the apprenticeship of Balrog.
Yes.
It's going to be released on Black History Month. You don't say.
All right, relax. Let's take off the tinfoil hats here, please.
No, man,
I mean, did you see his design?
I have to have it.
That wasn't inspired by Balrog. Let me tell you that much.
It's inspired by Luke, is what it looked like.
It's inspired by Nero. Come on, bro. Get to looking at the Capcom IPs. That's Street Nero. Don't you know? That's Nero from Devil May Cry 6. You know?
How could I not see it before? Just as awkwardly edgy?
Look, man. I don't get. It's better than the like outfit, the default outfit in Street Fighter 5. But I thought that he was like one of the like creative character like NPCs in fucking World Tour mode, and it doesn't help that like it had default World Tour kid who's like encountering the Mad Gear thugs on the subway, and then just having Ed save him. And like, it's not until the very end of the trailer that Ed does anything that's not like a regular move. So
yeah, because he does like jab, jab, punch, punch, and then like he then brings out the his psycho power tendrils and pulls the big guy back, and it's like, okay, and then it's like coming soon. The Battle Hub World Tour, and it's like, and what was it, Fighting Corner?
Fighting Ground.
Yeah, Fighting Ground or whatever. It's
yeah.
like, I've never seen them do a reveal trailer, and they had to specify those three things in that order. Now, maybe they've been doing it the entire time, and I just haven't noticed.
Nah, it's really weird that they were like, he's going to be in these modes in the game. It's like, what? Yes, he's going to be in the game. Like, what do you mean he's going to be in these specific modes? He's going to be in every mode that's available for you to play a character that is not your created character. Like, what? If they wanted to say that he's going to be in the like World Tour mode, like as, you know, someone in Metro City or whatever, like that you can learn from, just say that, like they did with all the other characters. Like, you know,
I was gonna be like, is there? I don't think there's a single character where they haven't done that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like,
now
they didn't go out of their way to announce it, but it was there.
I don't know if the other characters have like costumes and like Battle Hub type stuff. I don't know if that's a thing. I'm sure they have like costume pieces. Like, they made it seem like you could just recreate Ed in the Battle Hub.
That would be new, like, because none of the regular characters have like costumes.
Or maybe they're saying he's gonna have his own thing in the battle, like his own mini game thing in the Battle Hub.
What do you mean? Like he's gonna be a master, right?
No, like, all right, like, no, that's in World Tour. I'm talking about like in the Battle Hub. Like, maybe he's gonna be like, have like a spot for him standing. And then, like, you could play a different mini game that wasn't in the game before. Like, they got that thing with the Tesla cannon, the bull. Maybe Ed's got his own. I don't know. Doubt it, but
you mean like extreme battle mode?
Yeah.
I
mean, the only reason I said is like, why would they specifically say Battle Hub? Like, I don't understand why you would specify Battle Hub as a place.
Again, you got to take off the tinfoil hat. They forgot. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, they definitely forgot this character was supposed to be coming out soon, and they're like, "Oh shit, yeah." Ed, he's gonna be. What can we say? What can we say? He's gonna Fighting Ground. Battle mode. Yeah, it's like okay. Because this is, you know, no, this is a teaser trailer for the character that we've been waiting like 4 months,
or maybe he's in the Battle Hub to tell you mods are not okay by Capcom standard.
Oh my god!
Otherwise,
you know what?
You're gonna have to deal with me.
Here's the other thing, though. When Ed officially gets when he gets his real trailer, they're supposed to also announce the DLC character costume. So like Rashid and Aki are supposed to get their like costume threes announced. So I'm assuming Ed is going to come with a costume 3, but that's only if Capcom is going to continue to be good to us like they've been since the release of Street Fighter 6. We're getting to that point where they're starting to kind of, you know, it's getting kind of Street Fighter 5-ish, where they're like, shit, here you go. The releasing in like 4 months. Don't worry, guys.
Look,
we got you.
I'm gonna tell you the exact moment where I said, Capcom, you're doing it again. Your 5 is showing again. When they released them Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle costumes for $15.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
$15 in your pocket. $15 more if you want each one individually. $60.
Wasn't it like 25 for each of them?
No, it's 15 for each, but there's 4 of them, so it's $60. There was no bundle. The problem was there's no way to buy $15 exactly worth of currency, because it's like sold in like weird increments of like $7. So you'd have to spend more money if you wanted to get all 4, because the currency price doesn't fit into it evenly.
Yeah, which is also the problem that's going on with the costume 3s. where you're in a similar situation for buying currency to get all the costumes.
Because they're like $10 a piece, right? No, they're $5 a piece.
They're $5 a piece, yeah.
But I think the lowest amount you can get of the thing is like $7.
Yeah. So you either buy enough to get yourself like 4 costumes and buy the 4 that you want, or you buy more than you need so that you can get all the costumes, which was like 30 something bucks, I think. In total? No, not 30 something.
If you wanted to get every single character, you'd have to.
I think it was like 60.
You probably have to spend about 60 because $63 and then $5 a piece, that would get you 12 characters. So it's probably like $80. So since it's multiples of 7, $84. If you wanted everybody's costume. Which sucks, but hey, that's modern gaming. People buy it. People complain about it, but people will go out of their way to buy it. And I'm sorry if I'm a company, a corporation, or any business vendor ever. Even if I think something is low quality, if y'all keep lapping it up, I'd be a fool to not keep giving it to you. I would be dumb.
Like when you break down the math for like each costume, they were about the same or a little bit cheaper than Street Fighter V costumes. The only problem is that you have to use the currency to buy the costumes. Like, it's weird that first off, fighter coins in general are fucking, it's dumb. It's a dumb concept because like you're not doing anything where you just earn them in the game. They're premium currency that you have to buy. Also, it's $50 for the like highest bundle or whatever of those. So you're spending like $50 to get all enough to have all of those. What?
My fault. Someone did the actual math. I thought it was 16 characters. It's 18 characters. So it's going to cost you $108.
18. Wait, are they counting DLC?
No, it came with 18 characters.
Okay. Either way. Yeah, either way, like the system is just, it's very dumb. Like, you have these coins, you have this currency that you can only get by buying it with real money, but you can't just buy the costumes with real money. Instead, you have to buy the currency, and that's where like all the like annoying shit comes from. If you could just buy like single costumes for like,
it would have been fine.
Yeah, it would have been completely fine. Luckily, I only had like 4 costumes that I wanted, or like that I necessarily wanted for like characters that I play.
Oh, you remember when everyone thought that fight money currency that you were going to get in the game was actually going to be meaningful?
Yeah, well, you got drive tickets. Yeah. You can buy the colors for costume 1, and you can buy costume 2 with them. But you can't buy costume 3 with those. Well, get that shit out the window. Pay us the real money.
Poverty, man. Nice try. But, Capcom, they recently doubled back on a policy that they were trying to push out when they were saying, mods are just as criminal as hackers, and we won't stand for them. Now, we're 90% sure that given the wording that they chose to use during their little, I guess, tantrum about this was, it could make us look bad. The quality mods that y'all put out there could make it look like it's something that Capcom endorses, and we will not stand for any sort of disrespect towards our brand or our mission statements. And then you realize the only thing that is even close to being in that realm of possibility was the one time there was that one TO that had the nude mod active of Chun-Li when they were streaming a tournament. That is the only time I could feel like that is something that even remotely could have been conflated as, is that something Capcom put in the game? Is Capcom on goon horny hours? That's the only time I can think that could happen. But the mods that the games they started to attack the mods with, and started to say, hey, no more mods for you. Or stuff like Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 2 and 3 make, Resident Evil Revelations.
Listen. First off, all those games had like costume DLC or whatever, but they're not getting anything else. That's why the mods are keeping people playing the game. But fucking the new thing got me off track. If you see new mods for Street Fighter 6 and you're like, did Capcom approve of this? You're dumb. Like, come on. Why would they have like a naked model and someone not say the very first day, oh my god, Chun-Li is butt ass? You know, like that shit is happening. Oh, this is not like it's not Skyrim. So like, you know, it would have to be like Capcom has to come out and like officially say we support these mods and we're going to add the ability to like let you turn them on in this you know, super anniversary whatever edition of the game. Like that would be the only way for people to actually think that Capcom cares about that sort of thing. Otherwise, it's like every other game where people did that on their own and the company that made the game does not know or approve of it, or like, you know, they don't care. Yeah.
Which is why them Palworld mods are gonna be insane. You know that
game where you shoot Pokemon, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you, some of the stuff that I've just seen, like not like mods wise, but some of the stuff I've seen when I was in their Discord, and they said, "Don't worry, the things that we're working on, there are degenerates everywhere. You're not gonna like what you see." Mute Palworld on Twitter today.
Listen, let me tell you right now. There was this game called DNF Duel that came out a millennia ago. This fighting game came out, and within less than a day, a couple of hours, they had nude mods for some of the characters, and then they had thick mods for some of the like. Come on, man. We all know the degenerates are just waiting to like mod these games and do all kinds of like crazy shit, but like that's not a reason to
boycott the game or try to hold the company's feet to the fire, because
the company doesn't know. The company isn't like in control of that. They're not responsible for that. Again, I feel like Skyrim is the only game that's actually like come in full support of mods and been like, here, you can actually turn them on in the game so that you can like play them in the console version of the game right here. There's a mods menu here for you. These are famous ones that, you know, people have made, and like as a community, you know, we respect them. So we're going to put it in this old ass game so you can continue playing this game and buy it again. Why don't you buy the Amazon Echo version of Skyrim? Like, I've played the version that had the mods, and like they had pretty much everything there. You could literally like start a new game, turn on all the spells, turn on like, you know, God mode, all of that shit, and play the game like that. And it was just a menu that was in this like anniversary edition of the game. Capcom is not doing that. Other companies like, you know, Bandai Namco is not doing that. You know, like Street Fighter mods, like they're there, but it's not really like a super prevalent thing. The only thing that really sucks is that there's no edition of the game where you can go to a tournament and you can pick the second costume for your character, where you can pick more than 2 colors for your character. You know what I mean? Like, there's no cheap version to do that. So like, I don't know. It's bullshit. Like, Capcom caring all of a sudden is weird, but there's no reason for them to go back and say these old games, we need to stop the mods because it's going to stop people from buying our games. So like, no, the people who wanted to play those games bought them, and they're playing them now, or they stopped playing them after they beat them the first time. Like, it's not really, mods are keeping them there at best. Like, so
I mean, look,
there's no reason.
Mods brought a lot of people I know who weren't in the Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
especially once you found like there were some people who. I have a friend I know for a fact he plays with the Infinite Sharpness mod. He says, "Look, bro, I am tired of just middle of combat. I gotta pull out the whetstone and get. I'm tired. I'm skipping that."
Which is funny because the whetstone is infinite in the game. So it's literally just like a crutch so that you can stop in the middle of a fight and have to go into this animation. And then continue the fight. That sort of thing. It's. I get that they're adding some sort of difficulty or whatever to manage your resources, but you have enough resources to manage in a fucking Monster Hunter game. You know, there are some like quality of life changes that some people have modded into the game that have made it like much more entertaining for people who are still playing the game now. So there's no reason to like stop people from enjoying that because they still have to buy the game to like do that shit.
Because when I was playing World, like, you know, a while ago, dude said they got about 80 HP left, and I'm like, that's a specific ass like guess.
It's like, how'd you know, sir?
He says, oh no, he says I got a mod where I can see like their HP, so when I hit an enemy, yeah, I can see how much health they had at the start and where they're at now, and I'm like, oh okay, I guess it's just like that doesn't ruin my experience. All these mods were clearly you know, applicable online because we're able to play together, and it's not messing my game up. My game apparently knows what his client's telling him.
Let me tell you right now, I'm not a Monster Hunter fan anymore. So seeing people like going back to Monster Hunter World because like this sequel is going to be like what, Monster Hunter World 2 basically. It's just like Monster Hunter is not a game that's going to be like, yeah, let's do all the cool shit to fight these monsters. It's like, no, let's organize a group and let's beat up these monsters with these cool, regular swinging animations. Yeah, and you know, some strategy here. We're gonna capture the monster.
So would you like a Monster Hunter game that's basically Monster Hunter, but instead of playing like a slow, methodical approach to Monster Hunter, or there are definitely some dynamic strategies that make it less slow and methodical. But I'm talking about, you want one that's like full Devil May Cry.
100%, and that was like what Monster Hunter like G or whatever. That's the one that had like cool super animations and shit like that. The characters could do with their weapons, and then on top of that, you had regular Monster Hunter stuff happening. Some of these monsters are doing some like insane bullshit things to you, where if you don't have friends, you lost. You know, like what is it? What's the name of the monkey that goes Super Saiyan? Like,
Furious Rajang.
Yeah, like some of these monsters are doing insane things to you.
Out of all the fights in Monster Hunter World, outside of the damage check, LOL story shit like Fatalis and what was it, Alterion or whatever, Furious Rajang is the only monster in that entire game where I go, this is ass. I'm not hunting you again. Like once we did it the first time, I was like, never again. Nope, don't care. You couldn't pay me, brother. I'm not going back in there.
The reason I say this is because the Monster Hunter system is about grinding. Like you're grinding out these battles. You're fighting some of these monsters like 4 or 5 times to get like one little piece to drop so that RNGesus can like bless you so you can get the armor, the full armor set that you want. And if you're doing all this and the whole time you're like, oh, I'm on his back. You know, then
I'm on his back.
It's gonna get boring, you know? Like the reason you're gonna keep playing is because your friends are there with you and you're gonna have some like fun times doing some like stupid shit, you know? But if you're just doing like, you know, 3/combo, 4/combo or whatever, you know, it gets boring. Like, look, man, I played Insect Glaive because you did some like cool shit. Yeah. Oh, and then eventually
that's the exact weapon I played because, bro, getting in the air, getting in that vault, hitting somebody with the and then having to manage your Kinsect, you know, extracts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the exact type of time I was looking for. And then it's like heavy bow gun.
You know, have you ever done a solo mission with one of the guns? Oh my god.
It's pretty Resident Sleeper. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's very, but
I'm sure the new one will, you know, incorporate some of the things that they put in the what was the Switch one? Monster Hunter Rise.
Yeah.
To make it like, you know, more interesting. And you know, that game also like allowed you to have, what is it, like you could have solo missions and like you'll be fine because you had the Palco, and then what was the dog? What was the name of the dog in that game?
I ain't even gonna hold you, dog. I'm not. I to this day I don't remember. Dog.
Yeah, you had Palco 1 and Palco 2 basically. So yeah, you know, you had companions that like let you enjoy.
It was something mute. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go look it up.
you had like a decent time by yourself playing the game if you didn't have friends, you know, and that's the game. Also, I think that you couldn't play with friends if you were like a lower level than them, also, or a lower rank.
No, I believe you could, but like you just
you got
washed.
Yeah, you got mopped. So
because I believe no. Here's what it was. You couldn't run their missions. They could run yours though.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Because that way it stops you from seeing potential spoilers. Because it's like, oh yeah, well, let's go fight Alterion. Well, what are you? I'm Hunter rank 3. Oh.
Well, this is going to be a new experience for you.
As soon as he gets in the area, cart. What happened? I don't know. I only have like 200 HP, and the heat started happening, and I just started losing health by like chunks of 40 at a time. You don't have any heat resistance? Brother, I'm hero rank 3, brother. I just now killed a Joggerus. What do you want from me? And it's like true, fair, very fair enough. But it's called a Palamute. Okay. That's what
Jesus.
it is. It's a
Palamute?
Palamute.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Yeah. All right. That's Capcom's moneymaker right there. So we know for a fact that when this new Monster Hunter game comes out, at the very least, the Japan sales are going to like, you know, sustain Capcom for the next like 2 years. But thanks to Monster Hunter World and a little bit for Monster Hunter Rise, Monster Hunter is super popular in the States now. And they have like they have almost every edition of Monster Hunter for every type of like, you know, player. Like Monster Hunter Stories, if you just like, you know, your typical Pokemon experience, you have Monster Hunter Pokemon. You have Monster Hunter Rise, where you can, you know, do some cool stuff with the wire and whatnot. You have Monster Hunter World, where you have like pretty much every monster from the previous games in there now and shit. And you can play as Ryu, you know, it's like.
And Mega Man, which is unfortunately the most Mega Man content he's gotten in this side of 2010. But anyways,
there's a Mega Man costume in that game?
Oh, you don't know? For the Palico.
Oh, God.
For World.
That sucks. That really sucks. You know what? Yeah. All right. Well, anyways.
Oh, and by the way, it looks like 8-bit Mega Man. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, you mean the cover art or like actual 8-bit from the games?
No, like, you know, I'm gonna send you a picture. It's 3D. It's a 3D 8-bit Mega Man.
That sounds horrifying. What the hell?
It looks like Minecraft.
Oh my God. It does. It's just Minecraft. Yeah, it's just. You know what? Now I feel like I support the Minecraft movie now. The live action movie is probably going to look just like this.
More than likely. But what I will say is we talking about all these monsters. Look, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. Palworld. It's a pretty godlike experience. Now, I will tell you this. If you guys like Ark, you will love this. However, any of you who are not jumping at the idea of having to manage a camp, resources, mining, and stuff like that, just stay away from this game. There is a lot of busy work. There is a lot of busy work. You don't want to have to get one resource, mine it, turn it into one resource, put it into a system that brings it into another resource, to bring it to another resource, so you can finally build the thing that you want to build. Stay far away from Palworld. However, the novelty I thought was going to wear off in like an hour and a half. I did a 7-hour stream, which you guys know is insane for me. Starting at 3 a.m., I was up till 10 a.m. playing Palworld and having a good time. The problem is, it is definitely not a game for everyone. But if you have friends and your friends are willing to help you, and y'all aren't griefing each other, y'all genuinely are playing the game together, this is a very unique experience that a lot of people who may not have been into Ark can finally have for the first time. So if you have a group of friends that you can consistently, not you play at like, one a set of hours and you got that one friend who shows up like every other week. I'm talking about someone that will truly sit down and play this game with you multiple times a week. You have something really good here. So if you have a friend group, I recommend Palworld. If you like Ark, I recommend Palworld. If you really, and I just mean you were just smitten by the idea of being able to have pals with guns and, going through traversing a world that's, let's be honest, its traversal and look is very akin to that of Genshin Impact. If that's something that tickles your fancy, just slide the difficulty on to casual.
All right,
because it has Death Drop. You don't know what Death Drop is. If you get killed by something, all the things you had in your pocket, they stay where you died. And you got to go back up there and get them while you naked. Or craft.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's like that one game. That's like that. Oh, man. What's that game with the rolling and the battling and the stamina bar? Lies of P. Yeah.
Of all the Souls games, and that's the one. Great job.
Hey, man. At least I didn't say Wo Long.
All right, man. Hey. Watch out. Dungeon Fighter's about to get one. Never forget.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Was it the first Berserker? It's coming.
Yeah, that game is going to be forgotten. Like, holy shit.
No, you can't say that because we still remember Suicide Squad. It's not even out yet.
Yeah, that game is it can't be forgotten because of the IP. That's really it. And because it's going to be okay and fun with friends, and that's going to be it. But boy,
so it's going to be.
Do you remember Gotham Knights?
1.8.
There we go. Holy shit.
So Gotham Knights 1.8. Now, what I saw, I was like, when I saw from people playing Suicide Squad, because there were some people who I got to watch play it when they were doing their, private little beta thing. To be honest with you, the movement looks great.
Yeah.
However, the busy work looks like it's not fulfilling. It looks like you're just beating up a bunch of putties from the Power Rangers. Like you're just beating up dudes. They just dudes.
Absolute worst thing you could put in a video game. All right. Busy work missions. First off, busy work missions in general. Second off, busy work missions that feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again. Like, Jesus Christ.
The only thing that I hope is that they don't do, because see, here's what Gotham Knights, well, it had a lot of problems, but I think one of their biggest problems was the way they gate kept skills behind level ups. Like, I'm not saying give, everybody a broken character at level 1, but at least like give them a little taste of things to come for what each character could do really, really early. Otherwise, you're going to have that thing where it's like the first 4 to 5 hours. And then when you get to 6, like, I'm awake and I'm alert. But you know how many gamers, like if we get to hour 2 or 3 and it's still, the game's uninstalled, bro. We're never going to see the dawn of that new era, hour 6. Because we felt as though this game has already wasted way too much of our time.
Yeah. Like Gotham Knights turns into a decent game once the characters like level up and gets certain skills.
But it's only decent.
Yeah, that's a problem. Also, when it comes to these like games that are going in this like looter shooter like variety, stop making the enemies like sponges. I don't want to like hit an enemy with like a bullet and it's just like, and he's like, yeah,
unless the combat is engaging. Like a Devil May Cry, I'm okay if something got like 855,000 fucking health bars and 1,000,000 HP.
Yeah, but when you hit people in Devil May Cry, you're hitting them. Like they're really getting hit. Like Dante and Virgil and Nero are doing shit.
Sparta.
Like people are getting hurt and you see it. If you're
you mean I hit you with a pump action shotgun point blank and I just see 84 and your character just turns and punches me in the face.
Yeah, that's the absolute worst thing. If you want to go with this model of like let's beat up some enemies, at least learn from a Muso game. When you're hitting stuff, they're getting hit.
Okay. What you just described, that's my number 2. My number 1 is you're fighting somebody that's like as big as like 16 Kias and an air hanger. Big ass warship. You got a big ass cleaver sword. You jump in there and it says miss, and the ship does this 45-degree angle turn. You know what I'm talking about? Miss. How a whole building?
Listen, let me tell you right now. I love Fire Emblem games. I love them, man. The Game Boy, the first Game Boy Fire Emblem game is one of my favorite ones with some of my favorite characters in the series. There are situations in that fucking game where it's like, one, you have a character who has a 94% chance of hitting somebody. They miss. Two, you have a character who they're going against a character who has a disadvantage because of their weapon, and they have like a 30% chance of hitting your character, but your character has 2 health. They get hit by a crit and die. Absolute worst thing ever. Like who invented this? Why would you do this to me? You're watching me, aren't you? You know, like it's one of those situations where it's just like, why in the world did that work?
How upset will this gamer get if we crit them right now? If the answer is very, crit's coming. Nothing you can do to stop
it. Bro. No death run on the old Fire Emblem games? Oh, the worst. Oh my god. Well, especially Path of Radiance. Oh.
Well, if Ubisoft gets their way, you may not have to worry about any bad salt, because folks, you might have to get used to not owning your games anymore. Now, granted, the point that they were trying to make, while dumb, but the point they were trying to illustrate was, look, you can play games on like Sony's platform, or Microsoft's platform, and get like a Game Pass or the PlayStation Plus. But if for whatever reason you get banned from those services, you won't even have access to those games. Your entire library will be wiped. At least here, as long as you pay your monthly stipend, you'll be able to have access to these games. And I was like, yes, provided you continue to provide them. But with physical media, I don't have to worry about what you do. You might get bought by Activision Blizzard tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. And where are my games?
Activision Blizzard might say, hey, we're going to put them on our own storefront. We're not going to grandfather the people who are on Ubisoft's storefront into our thing. So you're going to have to buy another thing. I mean, look what happened to people who bought all the Discovery Plus stuff on PlayStation.
Oh, yeah. That's right. It's gone. I think recently they said, they're not going to revoke your access or whatever, but they're still going to make it.
But I feel it was like the retroactive thing. Like, if you have it on your hard drive right now, we're not going to take it from you. But if you were to delete it, you can't get it back, is what it is. And I'm like, well, that sucks. Even if you buy something on, a physical, if you found a physical version of Cyberpunk, yes, it'll be the most dog shit variant of that game possible. But if I have an optical drive and I fire that bad boy up, guess what? I got the game.
No, man. I mean, you can still update it. Patches will still happen if you have a physical version. So
you can still patch it, but you'll still have it.
Yeah. It needs to be said several times. The Batgirl movie was finished. It was not like they were halfway done and they were like, let's can it. No, it was complete. It was at least 90% complete. And then they were like, nah, bin the whole thing. Get rid of it. It's like, sir, get rid of the movie.
Between the Batgirl thing, how Suicide Squad's the game is going, and how Mortal Kombat went, something in the Warner Brothers calls got to be going crazy. It is not a good time to be. It's not a good time to be a creative in the Warner Brothers camp. I just feel there is something in the water that I don't even think we're quite privy to its full extent. I'm certain we're all going to have our opinions, we're all going to have our thoughts, and then we're going to find out through some expose it was something far more sinister. That's what I'm thinking.
Look, man.
Because there's no way all these people can be getting Dougie left and right by the same brothers.
I mean, we already know a sinister plot. They're doing it to, tax write-offs, money, which so fucking it's so dumb that they can successfully get away with successfully get away with taking a movie that's done, taking a movie that they filmed and they've completed, and then just saying, we're not even gonna like show anybody this movie. We're just gonna throw it all away. All the hours of work that all these people put into it, all the time, effort, blood, sweat, tears, it's all thrown away. And we're gonna make money off of it. And it's like, huh? How does that work? What?
Look, I told you, it's definitely harder for movies to make money now because you don't get that resellers market. And by resellers market, I don't mean like StockX. I mean, after the movie getting out of theaters, you can get that thing on DVD. You can always get the secondary sale. Now, everything's going to streaming services. So, trust me when I tell you, the movies are not getting that second financial boost. It doesn't come.
Some movies need streaming services in order to be successful. Hear me out. So Saltburn, every single like creator has made a freaking Saltburn video now because Saltburn is on Amazon, and so you can like if you have Prime, you can watch Saltburn in its entirety. You don't have to go to fucking theaters to watch that dog shit movie. And everyone's making their movie. This movie is weird. This movie is dog shit. Hey, this movie is weird and dog shit. It's weird dog shit. Like that kind of thing. And if it never came on streaming, no one would have you wouldn't have heard about it anymore because when it came out in theaters, it was like a few people like went and saw it because of like the director, the like hype, Barry Keoghan, Jacob Elordi, all that stuff, Rosamund Pike, all that stuff, right? And the people who went to see it, they were like, yeah, this movie was either not good or it was very weird. And it wasn't enough of a like roar for the general public to be like, well, I have to see it because everybody told me it's got some, what is this bathtub scene? The guy is fucking the dirt. What's going on? But the moment it got on Amazon, everybody's like, whoa, this movie is weird. Look at this clip right here, and then there's a clip on Twitter. The Marvels is like another example of a movie that like needs streaming because that movie is good, but it's not let me go to the theater and see it type of good. Like the movie is really, really good because it lets the cast like have fun with each other and stuff. It's like mainly focused on like the ensemble, and luckily they cast these characters really well. The story is kind of whatever, and the movie itself has like some really good moments, but like the bad guy of the movie is not compelling. The final battle is not like, it's got some cool stuff, but it's not really that much worth it. The after credit scene is weird, and it also has the caveat of this person is in another universe, so even though it's supposed to be something hype, it's less hype
because they'd have to do some crazy bullshit to even make this even worth your time.
Right. And so
given where Marvel's at right now, I don't think that's what I want from them.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't know if they have the facilities for that.
The movie's on streaming, and so more people are going to see it because a lot of people didn't see it when it was in theaters because one, thanks to the actor strike, people couldn't really promote it for more than like a week because like the strike ended like the week before the movie came out, I think. And on top of that, Marvel movies are not like giving people too much of what they wanted at the time. So people were already like, another one of these damn movies I don't want to watch, and then like a lot of comic book nerds were like, look at this woke nonsense, a woman, that kind of shit.
Look, so for me, like some people are like, well, why didn't you care about the Marvels? And it's like, because I don't think the Marvels care about the Marvels. Not saying that the movie would be bad, but when it comes to how these characters have been interacting after Endgame, that's the problem. They don't. And I'm not saying you can force interactions, but there are a lot of times where it's like, in order for me to be caught up on you people, I have to watch 5 shows about some D-listers that I either may not have an interest in or may not know anything about, which is cool. But after I got burned by Iron Fist, you got to understand, I am very reluctant.
Right. So that's the thing about the Marvels that didn't get promoted enough. You don't have to have watched
WandaVision.
WandaVision.
It's its own film.
Yeah, you don't have to have watched the WandaVision or Ms. Marvel to understand the plot. You didn't even have to watch the Captain Marvel movie to like really understand the plot in this movie.
It was a self-contained movie.
Yeah, everything that was relevant got explained by the characters in the movie, or they showed like an actual flashback scene. One of the flashback scenes was something that didn't happen in Captain Marvel, but it was implied that it was gonna happen. And that's how it should be. Like all the stuff with Kamala Khan's family is better if you saw the show, but it's still her family, so you're still like, oh, that's really sweet. But like if you watch the show, you understand like why they're in it and why it's like really, really like heartwarming that she's having these interactions with the family, and also why it's really like neat that she's having the interactions that she's having with Captain Marvel, who instead of being like you're a weird fan, she's like, oh yeah, thanks for being a fan, it's really cool, I care about you too, that kind of shit. And yeah, they show off they show off all these character strengths, and then one of the characters is someone who literally didn't get to use their superpowers for longer than like 10 minutes overall. So they also showed off what she could do. And then they technically killed her off. But yeah, the movie's on streaming now, and it's worth watching. So it could have a resurgence of people actually seeing it and being like, oh, this movie was actually not that bad. And since it's on a streaming service, they can like watch it without having to be like, I paid $20 to watch this fucking movie. Because that's why most people were like upset. They paid $20 to go to a theater, watch the movie, and it wasn't like.
By the way, back when like the first couple phases of the Marvel series was out, tickets were like $12 to $14.
Yes.
And if you went to a matinee, you can get the things for $9 to $11. Popcorn. It cost you an arm and a leg. Well, no, it cost you an arm before. Now it costs you arm, a leg, and maybe half your torso.
Yeah,
it costs you like so. if you take a family of 3 to a Marvel movie in like 2010, you might spend like $45. Now you probably not breaking less than 70, bro.
I think that's where most people are pissed now, because everyone who watched Infinity War and Endgame, they're expecting the next Marvel movie to have Thanos pop out the screen and give you a reach around, or some shit like that. But none of that is happening, obviously, because they, one, have to set up this universe, and two, the universe is dead now. Kang is no longer a thing. And like, I've seen Loki season 2. They buried it. They buried the whole plot, because Loki season 1 is where they really like developed the Kang storyline, the like he's going to be an overall multiversal like villain plot, and Jonathan Majors has some shit, and so they're like, oh, we got to rewrite Loki season 2 right now. And that season is about Kang, but they fixed all the like things that were supposed to be problems overall, where it was like, Kang is supposed to be a problem with his variants, and in Loki, they were like, Loki is now the god. He is looking at the timelines. He's looking at all the variants of Kang, and he's like, I'm gonna make sure that they can't do shit. So they're not gonna be a problem at all. They don't even have to show up again. He defeated, He Who Remains, who made this timeline and all this other bullshit or whatever. He fixed the problem at the end of season 1, where because that guy is dead, the other variants are going to roam free. Well, it's like, nah, stop it. They're not roaming free while I'm here, and everyone can do whatever they want, and no one will know my sacrifice. And so
I am the chair.
Okay. Yeah. That's literally what it is. He actually like sits in a chair, takes the branches of time and like wraps them around him, turns them into fucking Idrisil, and is like, now I sit here for the rest of eternity so that all my friends can enjoy their lives. And it was just like, oh, so so what's gonna happen with? Oh, okay, we don't know. So now they can do whatever they want.
Hey, shout out Chair Loki, man.
Chair Loki saved us, man. and fucking now they can just make whatever they want. And apparently it's going to be Doctor Doom. There's this weird shit about street level Thanos being Kingpin, which after watching Echo, I don't know, man. Like someone asked me about the Daredevil, or someone mentioned the Daredevil show, and I was like, who's going to be the villain in that? And they're like, Kingpin, duh. And I'm like, again?
I don't know. Again?
Like
Look.
season 1 and season 3? Like,
look, with all that being there, does it just make you want to go back to college?
Maybe a little bit.
I feel like times were simpler back then. Now, what I see here in front of me, I'm not sure if it was ever that simple, but this is just a little for fun topics to close out the show. Berkeley? That's right. Good old California. Yeah. They do it a little bit differently because they're having a fighting game course in which the syllabus is online. You can look at it. And yes, the final exam is a tournament. I don't know how we got here. I don't know how we made it to this timeline. But essentially, the lectures are VOD reviews. You're going to record yourself downloading Fightcade, playing Fightcade, most notably Third Strike, and playing matches with other students. This is an actual licensed class over there at Berkeley. Like you could take this class. Like, you know, one of those what they call those classes that, you know, the bullshitters.
Oh
electives.
My god.
There we go. Electives. Your air quote grade suspenders. But you're going to be doing projects based on YouTube videos, such as the making of Street Fighter 2 and a day in the life of a Japanese Street Fighter 6 game planner. That's right, folks. Your assessment will be to choose one of the above videos and do its corresponding assignment. If you watch the making of Street Fighter 2, what about Japanese game development in the 90s surprised you? How did the emerging console market overseas impact the game's development cycles? For video 2, how does Japanese work culture differ from ours? And how does learning about the game and how it's developed behind the scenes make you more interested in trying the game out? In many ways, what was shown in the video is very atypical of what people would consider normal Japanese corporate life. What parts of his daily life seem different from the stereotypical Japanese work culture? Followed by a gaming assignment corresponding with the same homework assignment. Play a 1st to 5 with someone else in our Discord. Make sure you record it and submit the names of both individuals. Boy, this is a class. People pay for this. To me, that's insane.
Yeah. Look, it's cool that, you know, fighting games and like FGC culture has like broken into the mainstream. And with like, you know, Tekken 8 coming out, I mean, to a lesser extent, the new Under Night game coming out. How do I feel like, I don't know, more updates to Street Fighter, you know, Mortal Kombat having come out. People are going to be like involved in the scene and play these games. Right. A college course is surprising, but like, you know, the whole esports like degree, like there's like esports college classes and shit like that now. An
That's
FGC
true,
specific one,
but normally that tells you about like how to get into industry, internships, like the structure of like if you want to start your own event. Usually those classes are like that. It's not Homework 3, Death of Arcades in Japan. Reading material, Wired. COVID is pulling the plug on beloved Japanese arcades. The assignment that corresponds with that, read the linked article above. COVID suddenly killed many of the long-standing competitive hubs for fighting games, but arcades have been on the slow decline for a long time. List some of the reasons explained in the article and come up with at least one of your own. How did COVID multiply these negatives? Followed with a gaming assignment. Do one of the following. Send a clip of yourself parrying Ryu's Denjin Hadoken Super. Make sure to set your opponent to Secret Arts 3 and do 360 motions to get multiple hits and start recording OBS the moment you start practicing it. It would really suck if you hit it and forgot to start recording. That's actually what you wrote. That's how it's worded in the syllabus. Followed by, send a clip of yourself punishing a block DP and come up with an optimal punish that ends with a super.
Yeah, the weird thing about this course is like it's basically a training mode. It's like it's what is it? It's like, you know, the fucking like tutorial mode for some of these games, and it's weird because an FGC course, like a serious FGC course, shouldn't be
homework
that.
3 or homework 3. What I just told you, that's in a month. Classes start on January 30th. All that is February 27th. So you have basically 4 weeks to hit these parries and come up with optimal combos. By the way, exam number one is a tournament. I just want to make sure you know that. Exam number 2 is a tournament. I just want you to know that. Exam number 3, psych, not an exam. Exam number 3 is a research project and presentations. And they have not listed out what the curriculum is for that.
Listen, this is obviously some kind of like freebie course for somebody and their homies, you know, to let everyone just chill.
I'm guaranteeing you this is one of those student ran courses, because this isn't new. There are student ran courses, and sometimes if you know, the top brass or the people you got to go to may not know too much about your thing, you could spin it like, yeah, it'll help you with esports. We got esports degrees, right? And they're like, yeah, all right, class gets approved. And they're like, what? And then they had to come up with a syllabus, and this is what they got. Not saying that's 100% what's likely, but like there have always been like some weird, I don't think this is an actual course type thing that gets put out. This is just one of the rare times it got out to the public before it happened. But I digress.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I don't know. Like, we're at this point where a lot of people who get into the FGC don't know anything about those old games, and they don't have to. Like, I mean, there's some concepts in these old games that they should learn, but they don't have to. The games are made for them to thrive without knowing a lot of these things, and that's fine. True. But yeah, that course seems really. It just seems so weird, and I don't know. It just seems weird. It's like you're not pulling the numbers for it to warrant like a full ass course, and this course is not for beginners. So yeah, it seems like the FGC homie like hangout spot, you know, during college, which is fine. I mean, it sounds like it'll be a lot of fun if that's the case.
Hey, trust me, as someone who knows how difficult it can be to get college credits, especially when you're surrounded by courses and electives that you don't give a flying fuck about, but you have to do them. If you could find a way to fill them out, and it's with some shit like this, hey man, go for it. Who am I to stop you?
Listen, college is a scam, bro. So like, get what you need to get, you know, because they want you to always take, you know, courses to get more credits than required to just have the courses that'll focus on what you're actually going to be doing in the real world for the career path that you choose.
Because they need that money.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, anyone who's going through college right now, I'm gonna tell you right now, whatever book and reading material they have, I guarantee you, if you look on Reddit, you will find a way to get it for free. I promise you. May not necessarily be quote unquote air quotes legal and school board certified, but I promise you, you do not need to spend $300, $400 on any motherfucking book. I promise you that today.
Yeah, but then they have to go to Reddit, and that in and of itself is, you know, some torture involved.
No, as a college student who knows what it's like to have the ramen noodle special. No. $400 on a book or the ramen noodle special? No. Easy choice, my son. We gonna get some steak and lobster and a free book. That's what we're gonna do. All right. Trust. Because some of y'all be taking 4 or 5 classes, you know, a semester, and them books add up. You be dropping a stack on book day. No, you already got my tuition money. What the fuck? I need to spend another $1,000 for books. Nice try. Funny man. Anyways, that's going to be the end of this episode. I think we had a great time. Next week, we should... next week is the first... It's going to be the first time we're in a Tekken 8 world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hey, the internet's going to be torn asunder because I know for a fact there's going to be people who said, I'm no longer playing this game. A lot of MK1 folks, I've seen it. They all say they're moving to Tekken, and they're going to be in a grand awakening of they don't know how Tekken works. And as soon as they start finding out, you got to learn like a good 15 to 20 moves per character as opposed to the NRS 4 to 6. It's going to be a lot of y'all who are going to be like, yeah, this ain't for me, big dog. But I digress. We'll see you next week. Until then, y'all be safe. And the newly edited version of the schedule and when I'll be live on this channel should be up by Monday. So, see you then.